You are listening to Let's Go JoJo. Oh, there again, without any sniggering behind my original. You are... Stop sniggering. I said I'm doing it without sniggering. You instantly start sniggering.
This is all staying in.
School all over again.
You are listening to Let's Go JoJo, the weekly JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast from Dynamite In The Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. On today's show, we have Niall Flanagan.
Hello to you!
Anthony Askew.
Good afternoon.
Dwayne Maloney.
Ta-da!
And me, Brian Smith. This week's episode, Judgement, Part 2. But first, the week in JoJo's news. I had 3 bits of JoJo's news come through on the bulletins. The first is barely a bit of JoJo's news. It's some Japanese website pointing out there was a video, a Nico video, telling you how to make JoJo's biscuits. So I shall post a link in the episode description.
Delicious.
They do look tasty. They're biscuits which have the syllables of various JoJo's sound effects in.
So it's not like a biscuit with a ghost biscuit behind it?
No.
Although, that's an idea now for your next party. I want to see his baby show up in Great British Bake Off sometime soon.
It did have somebody grabbing them off the tray extremely fast and shoving them in their mouth.
Star Platinum.
Yeah. There was a tease of the Shonen Jump Plus project with an image by Araki posted online. Beyond that, I don't think there's any more information.
That's kind of news, yeah.
Yes.
So when you say Plus project, what is that? Is that going to be a...
As I said, there's no more information.
Literally, okay.
That is, the information I've given you.
Anything else is wild speculation.
Just make something up, Brian. Just make it up.
No.
Going to float JoJo on the stock market.
But the image doesn't appear to be of any JoJo's characters I know. Though somebody does have a haircut which kind of looks like it turns into meat. But, it just looks like, what's the One Piece character, Virgo? The guy who doesn't notice when he's got bits of food stuck to him. And when you first, when you first meet him, he's got an entire burger attached to his face. Yeah, this guy's hair looks a bit like that.
Okay.
Excuse me.
It was pointed out to me, I saw that the guy Josuke, who's the main character in part 4, it's pointed out to me that he actually does look a lot like the main woman from Blade Runner.
Oh, that's right. He's the same
Sean
haircut.
Young.
Which?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yes, it's like Sean Young's hair.
I can't watch that film the same way ever again.
And finally, the first JoJo's theme tune, JoJo, open brackets, So no Chi no Sadami, close brackets, has been added to Taiko Drum Master on the 3DS. Or specifically, Taiko Drum Master, Don and Katsu's Great Space-Time Adventure.
Is that the drum thing where they have those, like the traditional Japanese drum?
Yes, with faces on. Yeah.
Ah, nice.
And there'll also be the theme song to Lupin the Third 78, and the Detective Conan theme song will also be playable. Those two are good choices.
Yeah.
Assume that's the Detective Conan theme song, which has never been used as a theme song. Which is a great tune. It's like one of those weird bits. It's like the most associated bit of music with Detective Conan. I don't think it's ever been used as an actual opening theme. It's that one which gets played whenever he's cracked the case.
Oh, it's more like a theme than
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And that's it for JoJo's news. I believe Dwayne has an extra bit of JoJo's news he wants to share with the audience.
Whatever the hell the name of that Cat JoJo game is. We got all the characters, and I think the last 2 are Joseph and Jonathan. But I finally figured out how to play it. You got to jump over Star Platinum to get more of the Stardust Crusaders to follow you in a line as extra lives. It's so fucking simple, but I imagine it's explained very simply in Japanese.
Crack the case.
I thought you just had to run past the...
You can just run past them as well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a dumb.
reality, if I was going to edit this, I could edit in the Detective Conan theme tune there. So.
There's still time, maybe.
Okay, let's move on to Judgement Part 2. Now, we can also get a brief opinion on Judgement Part 1 from Anthony and Niall, because they weren't here last week.
Oh, yeah, of course. And
What
I
did
was
you-
not at a Street Fighter tournament. It wasn't, no, basically my brother was visiting. So.
Did you play Street Fighter with him?
No.
Okay.
He doesn't play games, he's an adult. He actually doesn't play games. Go ahead, Niall, you set the pace,
Well, I kind of agreed that it took a bit of a slower tack there, but I was not kind of to build up the kind of lurking menace, and also so to kind of dwell on this isn't what I wished for at all. This is horrible, actually. I also like Judgment to Stand. Looks like a crazy mecha genie. This is kind of made of a jet engine, but it's held together with bits of tape. If you see on his
the shoulders are held together with tape.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's like someone's like cheap, one of those like build a mecha, like out cardboard box competitions you see at conventions these days. A little bit like that.
Was the face based off one of the Kamen Riders? Because it looks like it's like a half and half thing, and I feel like that was one of them. I can't remember which one.
No, it's it's one of those. It's one of the related manga and TV series. It's
Right.
Kikeda, is that the guy?
Right.
Is he the guy with
he's
the
the half robot. Yeah. Where he's two halves of two different robots.
Red and blue. He's got
That's the guy, yeah.
God, dredge that up. Well done, Brian.
But yeah, it was one film that I thought of first, even though it isn't entirely applicable, would be like Pet Sematary. You know, sometimes dead is better.
Yeah.
I thought it was the best episode. I've never been so glued since maybe season 2.
So you think it was better than this week's episode?
Well, yes in ways and no in others. In fact, no. I'd be a fool to say it's as good. Sorry.
I thought we were going to get best episode yet twice in the same episode.
Well, we would have done. Had I been here last week, it would have been the best episode, yes. I love Judgment to Stand. He is... I don't know, I wish he was a recurring villain. Because he's charming, he's a dick, he's creepy, he's got it all going for him. And I just love the whole wish. Any story that delivers like a good wish mechanic into anything, I always think it works well. Obviously, when done well, and this definitely did it well.
Yeah, I kind of like, we're seeing the actual stand more so than the stand user, who's the guy on screen most of the time. So it's the stand who's doing a lot of the acting, shall we say. And because he's a crazy mecha genie, he does stuff like, he's like blowing out steam out of vents, his eyes are lighting up and things. It's pretty neat. It's kind of cool how you can kind of like emote so much, even though it doesn't actually have many movable facial features.
And I was kind of hoping for Polnareff that it was... I don't know how far the stand powers can go, but, I thought it was going to be a legit wish until obviously it all goes tits up, I guess. But yeah, I liked it a lot.
Okay, we didn't decide before we started who was going to do the synopsis. So Dwayne did last week. Who did it the week before? Was it me?
Yes, I think so.
Flip a coin.
Yeah.
Okay, so which one of you people wants to do the synopsis?
You know what? I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to get out of the way with. It's a good episode to choose. Hopefully when Niall does it next week, it's a stinker.
I won't be able to do it next week, but...
Do you already know that it's going to be a stinker to do? Is that why you're...
No, because I know I won't be here. I definitely won't be here. But I will be here the week after for the last of the season. You can guarantee that.
You can do that one then, Niall.
Save that one. Go out with a bang.
Pressure is on. Right, so let's get this one going. So, resuming part 1, Polnareff is still getting kind of munched on by his dead sister's corpse, which I guess a corpse isn't the right way to describe it at this point. But yeah, he's still getting munched on. Then revealed, don't forget that other wish that you said to bring Avdol back. And out he comes, the zombie corpse of Avdol, and he's chasing Polnareff down, biting chunks out of him. And just when you think...
So does he even get that far? Because he's approaching and he's thinking...
Well, that's the thing. I watched it back because I had to double check.
Okay.
Because you do see a first-person view, I'm sure, of Avdol's mouth.
Oh, yeah.
If that is a camera view that you would like to see, and I'm sure it bites him once. But who turns up?
I think it takes a chunk out of him with his hands first, because he does like a
is it
claw
more
mark.
of
Because his fingers break off, don't they?
Yes, this is all your fault, only you're done.
No, and it's awful. I didn't
Why
see
you
him.
make me scratch you?
And who comes out of the bamboo grass? No one else but Avdol, or what we presume is Avdol.
Well, yes, because Polnareff at first thinks he's seeing double.
Which is understandable. He's just lost a hell of a lot of blood and no doubt muscle from his bone. I'd be in agony. So yeah.
And also because everybody has told him that Polnareff died.
He is dead at this point. He is definitely dead at this point. And he turns up, whoever it is, spoilers, it's Avdol, and he is just the most badass I have ever seen him. Ever.
Yes.
What's
to the
with-
point where Polnareff thinks he may be brain damaged.
He is so... It's like he's gone into training because Magician Red is incredibly strong, it seems. Everything about him. And he does this little thing which is like, tisk tisk, and he wags
like-
his finger. What's the deal with that? He's never done that before.
But no, I think it is literally, you are supposed to think that maybe he's, because of the huge greys, as we later see.
Yeah, that's pretty much a lot of
he's
damage.
lost
Yes,
it. He is...
it's a dent in his skull.
Yeah.
I guess
more
that's
than a
enough
grade.
to shake someone up, yeah.
That maybe his brain is now working on a more Polnareff level.
Oh,
I
God.
don't know. I guess in the stand bullet, it pressed in on the sassy area of his brain. You sound
Yes.
like, oh no you didn't. Tisk.
That is exactly the word. He's gotten so sassy. I guess dying has made him just not give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, appreciate life.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Also, Missions Red has learned some like crazy Firebird karate.
Oh, yes.
Was never doing that before.
Because Avdol basically gives the stand 4 wishes. Well, no, he says, you're going to give me 4 wishes. And he's like, no, I'm not. He says, yes, you are. And with each wish is basically, I'm going to make you scream and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to put you in pain. And it's just him showing off Magician's Red. And he is just destroying him, basically. And, yeah. I was nearly in tears because I was so pleased to see him back. It's good to have him back, presumably. And, so Judgement does a little bit of a runner, he's about to be defeated. And obviously, stand logic, the stand user must be close. So they try to track him down in the long bamboo grass. We see a little bamboo shoot, coming out the ground, granting the stand user some air. And then it just gets a bit crazy. Shall we say that? Because they sneak up on it, and then they start pouring bits of dirt.
Well, yes, Polnareff just pulls dirt, spiders, lamps in there.
Whatever he can find on the ground.
Like a child.
Yeah.
Exactly, like a child. And then Avdol. This isn't the same Avdol. He suggests, don't you need to wee? Or, I'm sure, I don't remember the exact wording.
Oh. We must engage in the ultimate ritual of male bonding and take a piss together.
That is right. And then we see a nice little rainbow from the urine, and they basically piss in the bamboo shoot while laughing.
Yeah.
What could be gay about 2 men pissing in a pipe?
Laughing.
Okay.
And then this horrible little stand user kind of leaps out, and it's a bit of a letdown, really. I don't like these stand users who are like little creeps.
Well, this guy's pretty ripped.
Well, I guess so, but he's a creep. He's not.
He's wearing scuba gear.
He's just a horrible person.
He's a little shovel, and he's wearing a little scuba mask and that kind of thing.
I did the scuba gear may explain how he got to the island as well. He swam there.
Oh yes, of course. And then Magician's Red just basically incinerates him. So Whether he kills him or not, I'd like to think so, because I don't want to see him anymore.
I think, yes. I think it seems to, because isn't his last wish that he'll never be forgiven?
Yes, that's right. So that would
I'll have you take my place in hell. Hell to you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although his catchphrase back on him, yeah.
It seems to be a bit more like have a comedy, you know, like in Tom and Jerry when Tom has a dynamite and it explodes in his face and it's all like wah wah wah.
I've turned you into a horrible racist stereotype.
Yeah, that's a bit of a pity.
It's like, the one thing you couldn't censor. Come on.
Maybe all the kind of the black areas it was just like censoring all the burnt flesh and stuff. So it seems that way.
Sure, Niall. Sure.
Anywho, before this gets
I was going to say, yeah.
the track, Polnareff is obviously happy as he could possibly be, because, you know, he was depressed that he killed Avdol. And he can't wait to tell the rest of the gang. He tells the rest of the gang. Long story short, they knew. They didn't want to tell Polnareff because he's got a big mouth, which is true. And that was their plan all along, and Avdol's father was not Avdol's father. It is actually Avdol with a little stick-on beard. So that explains the same voice. And off they go. Reunited as 5. Brilliant.
Yeah, and how are they going, Anthony?
Yeah, you forgot one important thing.
Oh, Jesus, yes. I mean, it was a few days ago. I can't remember how it's built up. It's like,
Avdol said he disguised himself as a rich Arab in order to
purchase their next
this.
mode of transport, which is a huge submarine vessel. It's huge.
It's way bigger than it needs to be. It's the Nautilus for all intents and purposes.
It must have a crew of 100 plus.
I was going to say, when they first said it, I thought it was going to be some sort of
5-man sub.
Yes, like the thing at the end of Steve Zissou. So it'd just be like a small sub which they'd all get into. No, it's just this ridiculous
like a city, a small city.
It's like something like Leiji Matsumoto would design.
What was the letters written on it again? I was trying to figure out if that was a reference to something.
For you? Or the U4?
Yeah. Something like that.
No.
UB40? No.
Maybe. U-boat 40.
Yeah, I don't know. But that caught me off. That was a bigger shock than seeing Avdol return.
What, the fact that he'd returned with a submarine?
Yeah, the biggest sub. So they're off to Egypt direct, I presume. At this point, I don't know whether that is the case, but great episode.
Yeah. Had you managed to go unspoilt on Avdol's resurrection?
Oh, 100%. I mean, because I'm not stupid with kind of, you know, I can predict a lot of stuff as I'm watching. I had a feeling it was coming. But obviously I like to always stay kind of tabula rasa and not know, or convince myself that I don't expect it's going to happen. But yeah, I avoided any spoilers.
I didn't want to say anything last week. I was just comparing it. I was like, oh, why does Avdol's dad look like him? Just in case you were listening.
We were all playing innocent last week.
That's nice.
For your benefit. And for any other listeners, but maybe for your benefit.
So I guess for our purposes, Anthony was the Polnareff of the group here.
That is correct.
I'm honoured and also very scared. Well, that's nice. I'm pleased I didn't get it spoiled. I'm sure there's other big things happening in the story that I don't need to be spoiled either. So, but yeah, I am the Polnareff of the gang.
That's
the worst thing as it could be.
Yeah, Polnareff's great. I'd watch a show about him. He's fantastic.
But would you want to be?
We are watching a show about him.
This is a
He
documentary.
the main character quite a lot, which I'm not complaining about at all.
Yeah, for a show called JoJo's.
And it has 2 separate JoJo's in it.
Jotaro possibly does the least of any character except wrap things up at the end of some of the storylines.
There was something I wanted to mention, actually. I can't remember whether it was last week's episode or this week's, but there was a point where you see Silver Chariot kind of over the top of Polnareff's body, as if...
he's like superimposed on top of him.
Yeah, and I was like, that's a nice touch. I want to see more of that, where it's less just stand and just human, but somewhat combined and, you know, kind of fighting with a suit of armour on almost.
I feel like we've seen that before, like when Jotaro pulled Hierophant Green out of the nurse's mouth. Like, he used his own teeth, but then all of a sudden it was Star Platinum's thing. So it can start as the person and end as the stand, or the other way around.
I want to see it used more, especially with Chariot, because, he is kind of a suit of armor anyway.
Yeah.
And it's not going to move far from him anyway, because it's one of the faster stands, as they explain in this episode again, for your benefit, that they knew that Cameo was nearby because of how fast.
Is that always the logic behind it, to do with speed rather than...
It is at this point, yes.
The more power it's exerting, the closer the stand user has to be nearby.
Yeah, so the more powerful the stand. That's why there was such a long range on, the man who had the tiny stand he put inside people.
The beetle guy, not Rubber Suit.
Steely Dan.
The Lovers?
Steely Dan, yeah. Lovers, yeah.
Yeah, unless you're like an exceptional case like Hierophant Green, where you're designed for long distance and it doesn't seem to let up any.
Yes.
Well, see, the thing is, it lengthens its body, so it gets away with it like that.
It's kind of there.
It's a bit cheap.
And also, he hadn't really thought those rules out when that character was written. As we mentioned before, by the fact that Star Platinum was able to wander around town stealing things.
Yeah.
Well, Cameo gets strangled by fire, and then fire shoots out of his eyeballs, and the stand user, besides the fact that his little goggles appear to be broken, he doesn't appear to have his brain exploded with fire. He seems okay.
So, what was your favourite Avdol catchphrase this episode? Hell to you, tisk tisk tisk, or yes, I am.
Yes, I am!
Everything he says now that he's kind of came back, it's this legend.
It is so good when Avdol is so excited to tell them that he's back from the dead, and Joseph just turns and walks away.
It's so
like,
sad.
Oh, hey Avdol. Come on, we're going. I also really liked the bit where it was friggin', oh my god, I forgot his name, pink hair man. Kakian was saying, he's like, oh, 'cause you got a big mouth. I mean, you're too honest. Turned around into a compliment. It's like, it's really too late at this stage, dude. You've really insulted Polnareff.
And in the previous episode, I noticed Kakuin's doing the most overacting in trying to cover up this to Polnareff.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
When you first see the father?
Yes.
Oh, right, I didn't really pick up on that.
Why was he disguised as the father? Why did they keep going with it?
Polnareff
were they just fucking with him at that stage? It's like, I don't know.
He's a mess. The poor guy is a mess. Especially when he first dies. But yeah, it makes for better storytelling that he doesn't know.
I know, but I mean, like, it's very mean of the lads, because did one of them ring up Avdol and go, oh, I got a great idea, right? Grey your hair, wear a little soul patch, and name some chickens randomly, and pretend you're the father, and Polnareff is going to be, oh my god, I gotta break Avdol's death to his father. Man, this is really rough. It's gonna send him through the freaking works. But no, just straight up say it to him, you guys. Why are you doing this to him? They just hate him. That's the only thing I could think of.
I mean, once more, he's turns up after being lost in the woods for hours, I would say, at this stage. He's got slash marks on his body, chunks bitten off him, and they still don't care. Like, whenever about an order in on the whole plan, at least give him the guy some medical attention.
Like, he takes the biggest beatings. Polnareff always gets at the bit in the hotel with the little, like, Chucky doll thing. He always gets the worst deal.
I think peeing with a laughing madly Avdol is going to mess with his whole bathroom issues that he has now.
Finally, some closure.
Well, now I can't pee without thinking about that. Fantastic.
I did like when he was crying because his third wish had actually been granted when Avdol came back from the dead.
Oh.
The big softie.
He is. He's great. They're all great. Especially Magician's Red at the moment, who is epically strong for some reason.
I was thinking like a Blaziken thing. Fighting fire chicken. Just me? Alright.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but...
It's a Pokemon. But there was a heavy censorship in this one, so I'm like, how gross could that have been? I mean, like, they did tear entire chunks out of Polnareff and start eating them, so... That is pretty gross.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know whether it's because it's sister as well. You know, there'll be some weird, like that show. What was it called? Where the guy feeds his sister flesh.
Oh,
No.
which took forever to actually appear.
Pupa? Is it pupa?
That's it, yeah, pupa.
Yeah.
Totally off topic. Back to Bleach.
Quick thing, why was Avdol's sister naked and, Polnareff's sister naked and
I
Avdol's not?
assume because he was imagining them as he last saw them.
Yeah, that would have been my guess too.
Oh, yeah.
Because he imagines,
he says he takes it out of their mind. Their roots.
but because he imagines the Avdol he summons has
Like a
the bullet hole through his head.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they're the dead versions of them. So yeah, presumably she was naked
Bah. Not nice.
when Jay Garl killed her.
Does that gold just turn to dust or clay or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's just like an illusion made out of dirt, so it's just gonna turn to dust.
So maybe that's how they were going to buy the sub.
No, man, Speedwagon Foundation money.
That's true. Who needs money?
Put to good use again. Do you need to buy a whole submarine for this trip? When the regular boat have done? Oh no, go for the submarine. Actually, I did seem to put a bit of dash into this episode as well. It was looking quite well.
The animation was definitely stepped up a bit.
Yeah, I was really liking the golden color filter they had there over the kind of first half of the episode. It looks pretty good.
There was some interesting like CG stuff with the whatever that kind of grass was, it blowing in the wind and such.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them use that in this show yet, so that was kind of cool to see.
Good episode. I don't watch the preview anymore because I always worry I might see too much.
You and your preview fear.
Is it what's next? Is it the priestess next week?
Yeah, High Priestess.
High Priestess.
One.
Yes.
Is this the first stand that didn't have a colour attached to it?
They haven't had colours for a while, man. Not since.
Yeah, I've only started noticing now. I was like, wait a minute, that was just regular Judgment.
Not since, I think, Yellow Temperance.
Okay. Jeez. Very odd.
Must have got bored of picking colours. Matching it was better.
Well, he started with Platinum and he started running out of colour straight away.
Yeah. Threw himself in the deep end with that one.
Let's double check here. Yeah, I think, it was like Yellow Temperance, I think.
Okay.
And we have 2 episodes left for
Yeah.
this bunch. That's
And we'll have to wait for the second half.
I'm hyped for the second half. That's where it's all going to go down. It's all building up to this amazing second half.
Much, much longer arcs.
More fighting.
Well, I hope more faffing around as well, because I do enjoy the faffing around.
Yeah, the faffing has its merits, definitely.
Longer arcs, though, I don't know. Well, the last, I kind of, I suppose the last 3 of them will take up like 3 parts. I know, like, when they eventually get to Dio, it's going to be like a 4 or 5 parter at least.
Yeah. Yeah, in general, it's roughly, if you divide the number of chapters it takes to do an arc by 3 and round up, I think that'll generally that'll generally give you how many episodes they do.
That's the mathematical progression for how much they fit in an episode.
Yes.
Nice.
Does the same apply to One Piece?
No.
No,
That's
no.
One Piece at the moment is pretty much 1 chapter per episode.
Oh, that is so frustrating.
I thought it was less than a chapter an episode. I
It
thought they were
may
stretching
be
that.
Sometimes it is,
yes,
yeah.
'Cause they've been, there was like a fight which happened in the background in the comic, which they showed you in an episode.
I figured that with like the current arc in One Piece, because Frankie and some other guy appear to be having a dance off, and I was like, that's at least 2 episodes.
Yeah. Because, that's just, you get an occasional flashes to that now in the comic. You think, okay, we're going to get a full episode of the ridiculously hard-boiled dancing showdown they're having. Have they had that character's voiced yet? I don't know. This is a completely different podcast. Let's go. Let's go going merry.
Nice.
Okay, I think that's everything we have to say about this episode this week, so join us next week for High Priestess Part 1. And in the meantime, check out our regular podcasts at secretofthesailormadness.blogspot.com and dynamiteinthebrain.com. Goodbye!
Goodbye.
Farewell to you.
Although paintings on the tomb, I do the sand dance, don't you know? If they move too quick, oh, hey, oh, they're falling down like a domino. All the Bazaar men by the now, they got the money on the bet. Go crocodiles, oh, hey, oh, snap your teeth on your cigarette. Born top with the hooky pop, say, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Walk like an Egyptian.